everyone, this is Karen with the King and Two Queens. Welcome to our discussion this evening. It's a little different than what we've been doing, and we'll tell you why in a little bit. But first off, we're going to do a recap of what we've done so far, hosting the various topics that we have done. And we want to just speak on each of them and encourage you, if you have not listened to them, to go to our YouTube channel, go to Spotify or Anchor, and check out our podcast. Okay, so the very first one that I hosted was entitled, Are Today's Self-Appointed Queens Right, Wrong, or Is It a Passing Trend? And so we were taking a look at how the title, or the grandiose title of queen, it no longer carries its potency. The emphasis was on how we have a tendency in our society to maximize things that should, to minimize rather things that should be respected and exalted, and we maximize or exalt the things that should be kept minimal. And as a result, our world is full of trivial forms of entertainment and praise or exaltation. So that was our focus on that one, which really touched me, because we throw that around. And matter of fact, our podcast is The King and Two Queens. So we're calling ourselves queens, and yet we are not official queens, if you will, like of England. But we give ourselves that title. We feel privileged to do that. Why do you think that's so?
I think that when you're broken, I think that you look to sometimes give yourself this big temporary fix. And so instead, what it should be, I'm a queen in training. Instead of, because if you call yourself a queen or even a king, that's a big title. And so when you say that, you got to live up to that. Which is why we say, which is why we pose the question, is this a passing trend, or is it what it is? Because the fact of the matter is that not looking so much like queens.
I agree. A lot of women call themselves queen, and I see what they're doing. It's like, wow, you really don't deserve that title. And not so long ago, we were calling ourselves divas. I don't hear that anymore. That was more like a cantankerous woman, but she was pretty. So she's like, what? Like, we don't think about it. Sound good, let's use it, kind of attitude.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I agree with David. I think that my question with this topic was, okay, if you're a queen, where's your king? Because real talk, you can't really be a queen without having a king.
True. And what if you're not really a queen as far as character, and now you have a king just because you're married? What are y'all?
Exactly.
Really?
And the thing about it is that guys can be kings without having queens. Queens cannot be queens without having a king. There is a difference. And let me qualify this by saying, we teach our babies, our male children, to strive to a higher goal. Whatever the goal is that they want to make, we encourage them, and we even feed positivity into them, saying, if I am the queen, which I've said this to my children when they were little, I said, if I'm the queen, that means that you're the prince or the princess. You need to, go to a higher level. And then I said, in dating, they have to come up to you. You don't dare go down to them. Hence the song, I don't want no scrubs, or, any negative song that talks about the wrong type of guy or the wrong type of girl.
Good. You said training. And that brings me to my next topic that I discuss as far as roles are concerned. The title for that podcast was, Should Gender Roles Be Etched in stone. It was a question. And we focused on whether gender roles are innate. Is it just in us? And we focused on why do some people feel the need to adopt certain characteristics along with performing certain functions like motherhood. If a guy is performing motherhood tasks, does he begin to act feminine or something? Like, why does he have the need to do that? Or hairdresser, doing hair, that's been known as something that only women do. Do you have to begin to, yeah, girl, like women talk in the hair salon? Do you feel the need to adopt, a different character because of the role that you have? And lastly, we spoke about what do you do when your child or a child comes to you and they want to look like the opposite sex? Like, how do you handle that? Your baby comes and says, I like boy clothes, and she's a girl. And I feel like a boy, or a boy says, I want to wear dresses like mommy, like, what do you do? We spoke about the church's stance on it. They're not favorable, is not favoring that teaching because of the Bible. And also, there's some people who don't agree that don't believe in the Bible. They believe that roles are etched in stone. Boys should be boys and girls should be girls. But that's important in our society because we are all inclusive now to not offend people. But what about people who disagree? You know, we spoke on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit this one and quit it real quick because
It is
this one is
quit
not this one is not my favorite.
it.
But I will it's not my favorite. Yeah. What I will simply say is my saying is that I will never encroach on your glory in being a woman, and I don't want you to encroach on my glory in being a man.
All right. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. Mine is probably going to be a little bit longer than that.
Okay, not
Um,
too long though, girl.
no, no.
Preach.
The short version is that I agree. Boys should be boys, girls should be girls, um, within the context of personality, if you will, and upbringing. Now, the difference is roles. Now, I think corporate, or I think jobs. There are women who are construction workers. There are men that are nurses. There are women that are train conductors. There are men that are hairdressers. That just because you're performing a role that may have traditionally been a woman's job or a man's job, that does not make you, trying to step out of who you are as a male or a female. Um, at the end of the day, um, I don't think they are etched in stone. And I'm just saying in terms of professions. And
Mm,
I'll leave it there.
okay, that's very good. I can't imagine a female construction worker saying, "Ooh, my nail. I just broke it." Like that, you just can't have nails on that kind of job, but that doesn't mean she don't want to get her nails done another time and put on a dress and go out to dinner with a guy.
Mhm.
With a male nurse, that surprised me when I first discovered it in the hospital, but they were not acting feminine when they were taking my blood or anything else they were doing. They were just a man who was called a nurse.
Mhm.
And traditionally women have been nursed because it's connected with caring.
Mhm.
um, yeah, those are some great points. Great points. I love them. Love it. I appreciate the I won't just say anatomy, but all the other qualities of a man. And I like being a woman and all the qualities that go with a woman or characteristics. So others feel differently about that. But finally, the last topic I hosted was entitled Toxic Relationships. What's love got to do with it? Like Tina Turner said. When you're in toxic relationship, is that love? Whoa. We addressed why people stay in toxic relationships. And we focused on how you should take steps to get out of this kind of abuse. And there's different levels of toxicity. There's some emotional and mental. But should you stay because you're in love or you simply don't want to be alone? Um, there's also fact that people don't want to be without status quo. Like they like being saying, I'm married, even though it's a terrible, terrible marriage. But you like the status quo. It shows security. It shows stability from the outside looking in. But is it worth brainwashing or abusive brainwashing treatment? I would think not.
Definitely not. Definitely not. You know, the thing with everything that you just said is really comes down to self-hate. And that's a strong term. It's a strong phrase. I mean, it's a strong phrase. But if it's toxic, it's not love.
But this love I totally agree with you, David.
Love isn't toxic, and you know, one of the problems in this society is that we use that word love when it's really infatuation.
Mm-hmm.
It's really infatuation, because love is deeper than feelings. Love has discipline to it. Discipline is a nasty word today.
Nasty.
Discipline is a beauty. It's a beautiful thing, and everybody wants the results of discipline, but nobody wants discipline, and that's not love. That's not love. It's so toxic is hateful. That's what it is. See, and until we stop being real with ourselves, we're never gonna be free. And we're not.
There are some women who are high power in their business, in the business world. In a relationship with a man, they are just noodles.
Noodles.
Like noodles. Wiggly ain't got no backbone. He give her an eye and she just, yes sir, master sir. You might as well say that. Or she's scared to talk around him, look at him like, what answer should I give? But
or she's on the other extreme and it's constant mouth. They're both toxic.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're both in that case. I don't know. I don't know. It's
so that's where my podcast came in. Are you done? Are you can I?
Well, Sherry, Sherry, you have any?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sherry.
I agree with David. I think that it all stems with self-esteem, because if you don't like what you see when you look in the mirror, and I say this a lot, only you have the power to change it.
But how can you do that and put on your suit, corporate America, you're looking, all the way boss. And then in another whole realm, you have no self-esteem.
Because that's where your strength is. And a lot of people don't visit where they're weak at. And that's what kills them. That's what kills their greatness.
Yeah.
You have to visit where you're weak at. You got to visit it. You got to look at it. You got to be honest with it. You're never going to get in trouble because you're pretty. You're never going to get in trouble because you have a six-pack or you have a really, really nice body. You will get in trouble because your personality sucks or because you have humility.
And I would go even deeper, because what you allow to happen, and I'm talking in terms of respect or disrespect, if you allow somebody or anybody, it doesn't have to be a significant other, it could be anybody. If you allow people to disrespect you and you just kind of like, oh, well, they're having a bad day, making excuses, it's like, no. Nobody deserves to be respected. I mean, disrespected. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody deserves that. And until you take deep inventory and say, listen, I have allowed this, and this. And if I'm going to move any further along in life and have more successes, what have you, I have to change. So that means that you have to address what you're weak in. You also have to address what you like and what you don't like. You have to find your voice. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. You have to have a voice. You have to realize that you have a voice. And you have to exercise your voice. You can say it sweetly and say, well, I'm sorry, babe, I don't like it, And if you get a really negative response, if they cuss you out or if they put their hands on you or, if they insult you, then you need to do inventory and say, is it really worth me staying and continuing to be beaten down? Or do I love myself enough to say, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need you. I'm out.
It's challenging especially when it's physical. We even saw on the clip with Tina Turner, she tried to leave, take her kids. He went and got her and put her back in the car. I mean, that was part of the movie, but he took her, he said, where you trying to go? Get up in this car. And he pushed her in the car and the kids because she was trying to get out of that. But he followed her. So you got to have a keen map of plan. You got to have some support. Some instances of toxicity is really hard to get out of for the female. Because she's frail, she can be beat, So, anywho, all right, I'm done with my 3.
All right,
David, what you got?
Okay, so I'm loving this conversation. So I was going to do this one last, but I'm going to do it first because I think it flows into it. So one of my podcasts was the power of healing.
Yes.
Now, and we got this thing today where we everybody's like mental health, and that's great. The only thing I don't like is that we can't keep waiting for the media to tell us what to do.
Exactly.
Healing and mental illness is not a new issue. And let me say, if you don't get serious about your healing, there goes your money, there goes your sex life, there goes everything, because everything is connected to healing. Everything is connected to healing. You can't make money in a bad relationship. You know why? Because all of your energy is going out to putting out fires. You don't have time to think. You need time to think. You need time to get healed. There's a time and place for everything. There's a time for Karen, oh my God, I know you're going through, and then there's a time to be like, hey, snap out of it. That's love too. Got that from Karen. Don't get on me. I got that from Karen. There's a time for that. There's a time for that. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that because literally people are putting their feelings before their freedom.
That's true. Media helps that. And media.
Oh, does it ever?
Media has become the virtual Bible, if you will. People go steadily and long. Yeah. Ooh, they will do that longer hours than they would something else that's more.
Anything that's substantial, right? It's TV, it's phone, it's just, and it's whatever makes you feel. And it's like, look, and until you block that stuff out, until you give yourself some serious time to tackle these giants of yours, you're not gonna get what you want.
Giants, you mentioned that word. Somebody got booked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Quick plug, Kill Your Giants. That's my first book. Kill Your Giants. So the power of healing basically is what I'm saying is that it affects everything. And if you're serious about it, your life will blossom into something beautiful that you won't even recognize until you do it.
Mm-hmm. Hey. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay. There was a couple of more that you hosted, David.
Yes. Okay, so another one was...
Wait, I want to say something real quick.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
You cannot, it's absolutely impossible for you to walk around in life broken, completely broken. There has got to be a time when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired and want to change. If the change has to be in you because you can't control anybody else but you. So the change has to begin with you. When you finally just say, you know what, I'm good, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore. Bam.
Right.
Total mindset change.
Bam.
Yeah. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you'll change.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Good stuff.
Another one was just tell me what you want. Now, this rings massively personal to me because I'm 50 and I've had several dates in the last 10 years. And on some of those dates, it was like, this is it. You and I have a nice connection. And they were afraid. And I'm like, honey, if not now, then when?
Hello.
Why did you take my number? Why did you give me your number? I've gotten people's number and all they want to do is text. What do you want?
Just tell me
what you want.
Tell me what you want, huh?
When you know what you want, the world opens up with clarity. But if you're, something, you're not gonna get it. Watch Shark Tank, right? I've seen people lose $1 million deals because they came on there and they said they wanted 20% for $100,000 of the business, or vice versa. And then when they were given 20%, it was like, can you do 25? And it was like, are you being greedy? And it was all this stuff. And all four of them were like, I'm out. You lost your chance to be a millionaire because you didn't know what you wanted.
Mm-hmm. People don't like to let their yes be yes. No be no. That keeps it straight, simple. Anything else in between is confusing. You're confused and you're confused.
Yeah, really, right. Exactly. And when you like that, you don't get what you want.
Yeah. Let me piggyback on that, because the number one problem with not telling people what you want is indecisiveness. So my question is, what are you looking at? What are you afraid of? You know, you're not dating a mass murderer. You know, I mean,
why are you indecisive? Yes.
Yeah. You know, so you have to just, sit down and say, okay, well, why am I afraid? Are you afraid because you want to project your issues onto somebody who's nice because of the last person that hurt you? Or is it that you're just caught between a rock and a hard place and you don't know which way to turn? Neither is good.
Neither is good. People don't like to make decisions. They think they're going to lose out by making a choice.
I think that you lose out by not making the choice.
Yeah. They think, okay, because we have so many choices in our world today, it's hard to make a choice. Like, something, do this, do that.
Right.
No, I want to try this a little bit, and I want to try, because they think they can keep everything inclusive and try all of it.
See what that stands for?
No.
See what that stands for right there? See what that stands for? You know what that stands for? Loser. That's what it stands for. When you think like that, you live on Loserville. Don't live on Loserville. Okay? Make it, because even when you don't make a decision, that's a decision. There are some people that I'm like, if you call me, I'm not going to answer because I think you're lame. I think you're lame because you're all over the place, and you're not going to bring that into my life.
How about you invite that in your world if you allow it? Yes, and
it's really simple. It's really simple. We are not children, so we're not doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. No, we're not doing that little. Remember the paper things when you did that, and do you like me? Yes, no. I mean, come on. We're adults.
Right. Thank you. If not now, then when? which is a beautiful segue now into the third podcast.
Okay.
Let's be friends. Okay. If we don't know what we're doing and why, and if that's too much pressure, then let's just be friends.
Okay.
Because that takes the pressure off of, do I like him? Do I like you? And what does that mean? And what are the expectations? And it takes away so much fear if we're just friends. And what it also does is that now it leads to the possibility of dating and possibly being something more serious and more substantial because we're just friends.
Sometimes
I like that you said that.
Friends. They gotta have friends benefits, and then it gets complicated because you're supposed to just be friends,
Mm-hmm.
Right. But again, that goes back to the decisions. You can't see. The problem is that when you mess around with more than one thing, you confuse your own brain. And when you confuse your own brain, you're confused.
There's emotional connection.
There's no such things as friends with benefits. It's because now we're friends who are lovers. So we're friends and lovers.
Right, and it makes
you lovers.
You can't do that. You can't be friends and lovers. Either you're going to be in a relationship where you are lovers, you marry, or you're just friends and you're not being lovers with your friends.
No, you're
Right.
not.
Like that gets confusing.
Yeah.
Really.
And the thing about it is, at the end of the day, is that if you can't decide whether you want to be in a relationship or if you just want to be friends, the safe place to go is to be friends. Because once you're friends and you get to, you're in the friend zone and you're talking, you're vibing and you're chilling and all of that, that is a path that can lead to romance.
It can. It can.
That friends with benefits doesn't do, because you're just being horny and just want to, get it on.
Right.
And that's not going to take you anywhere, because that's not real love.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Super, super good. I love it. I love it, guys. All right. Sherry, Queen Sherry, what you got?
Well, I'm going to put, like David, the last one first. The pitfalls of relationships and how to avoid them. One of the things is, don't do the friends with benefits thing.
Don't do it.
That's too intimate.
Complicated.
You can be intimate without having sex.
Ooh.
And I don't mean going to first base, going to second base, going to third base, like kids would talk about. We're talking about getting to know somebody, asking innocent questions like, what's your favorite color? What do you like? It's so simple without having to be ridiculously complicated.
Right.
Right. You know what? Well, one of the pitfalls, and you just said it. Because when you say things, when we hear things like simple and what's your favorite color, we think simple. And when we think simple, we think basic, and basic, we think elementary. But those things are powerful.
They are.
Because, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because what it's really saying is, I'm into you and I'm interested in what you like.
Yeah.
That way I can do what you like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the same vice versa.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong when you ask questions like that, because then if you're looking to ultimately get in a meaningful relationship, but you start off as friends, surprise your friend. Remember their birthdays, send them some just because, flowers or those food bouquets, stuff like that. Simple. It's funny. It'll put a smile on your face. It really does not have to be as complicated as people try to make it out to be.
Yeah.
Who ever heard of sleeping with somebody on your first date?
Right. People have done that. But what's interesting is we don't do that normally in our society, never mind with the opposite sex. Like, I had put up a post and asked the question for people to put one word to describe our relationship together.
Mm-hmm.
So people, or something about that describe me. Mm-hmm. And they were like, nice and so sweet and kind. Some people said other things like courageous. I can't think of some of the other things, but that's somebody who's watching a little closer at me.
Right.
They're not looking at the surface stuff. Oh, nice smile, all that. Some people put words that said to me, they're looking at me a little bit closer. And so that's what we should do in general. We don't pay people no mind.
Yeah.
We're not observant of who they really are and try to get to know them, so that you can surprise them because you know what they like.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what they like and you're not, I don't know. That's like someone who just, here's some money for your birthday. Of course, we like some money, but if you get a special gift and you say, oh my gosh, look at this. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Be smiling for a week.
That I like that, and here it is,
Mm-hmm.
So, we need to do that in general. That's all I'm saying. What else you got there, Cherie?
So that takes me into, do you know who you are?
Ooh.
That is so important, because if you don't know who you are, how in the world can you expect somebody else to get to know you?
Hey.
Bingo.
You can't. You have to spend time with yourself. Take yourself out on a date.
Hello.
Okay. And just say, hey, you know what? I think I will go to, the closest seafood restaurant. Let me go to Legals today.
Hey.
I have a couple of extra dollars. Let me go get what I like. Dress up. Wear your best pumps. Favorite dress. Take yourself out.
And what that does is it teaches you to appreciate you and for you to really, really be in tune with who you are. Most people aren't in tune with who they are and with what they want. And so as a result now, they can't communicate to the one that they supposedly love to say, this is who I am and this is what I like. A lot of people, they don't even know their love language or their personality type. That's exhausting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That matter of fact, that information wasn't out when I was dating.
Right.
What?
Right.
So it's good to have that knowledge now.
But isn't it interesting though how we're in the information age and we're getting worse as a people?
Yeah. Yeah, because people aren't dealing with the basic question.
What you say?
That's a whole
Karen?
podcast right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna do that one.
Hello. All right, what you got, Queen Sherry? Was that it? Was that 3?
No, I got Can We Talk?
Yeah, okay.
So, you can avoid the pitfalls of relationships and you can discover who you are by saying, can we talk?
Hey.
Yes.
So sometimes you got to talk to yourself, look in the mirror and say, okay, Sherry, what are you feeling like today? But once you have discovered who you are, then you can put your best foot forward and then other people would like to approach you. You know the right type of person that you would want to attract. You want to attract somebody who has a brain and are thinking literally with this part.
Derek, they don't have a brain. I don't think they can't talk.
They're not the scarecrow. Yeah, exactly. They're not the scarecrow.
They're scarecrow.
Thinking, they have their thinking cap on. You should have yours on as well. You don't want to sit there and be, for lack of a better term, flighty, or not taken seriously. Be an adult. Don't be a child. I've been told by some people, act your age. I have a tendency to attract young people in terms of, what I say to them. I might say some, slang words that they understand, that somebody in our age group may not. It's like, wait, what do you mean? What's that?
Yeah, they say act your age, not your shoe size. But I was thinking about talking, like even I think David had mentioned, nobody want to talk. They want to text. Like, can we talk in person here?
Yeah.
I can see your body language because you get, it can be taken another way when you talk through text.
Right.
But
it's
if
dangerous to
body
do
language, because we're in person, that's a whole nother ball game right there.
Yeah.
And then, in addition to, our conversations will go much better if you have real conversation with yourself.
This is true.
Most people don't have real talk with themselves. So I heard a quote that said, the first person a liar lies to is themselves. That way it's easier to lie to others. And it's true. Because all conversations start with yourself.
That's
right.
Good. That's good right there. Wow. Those were some awesome podcasts. And if you haven't heard them, you need to get on over to YouTube or listen to them on Spotify or Anchor. And we welcome your comments, if you have questions for us, feel free to ask them and we will get back to you. But we're going to start a new series of episodes with the theme entitled Mindset Differences. So we'll be talking about the mindset differences and how it affects our world on topics like infidelity and affairs, the physical and emotional aspect. boredom in relationships. And sometimes we got to do like David says, snap out of it. There's unrealistic expectations. Sometimes people are dreamers, sometimes people are analytical thinkers, and there's certain expectations that come with that mindset. We'll also be going into mental health, body, mind, soul, and feeling unsupported. And you have to ask yourself, is it really that I'm unsupported? Is this real, or am I imagining that I'm unsupported and I'm just lazy and don't do nothing? So we'll be talking about things like that and addictive behavior. What is it that you can't live without? And how can you make positive change when you have addictive behavior that will help your relationship? So we want you to look out for those podcasts that will be coming up. But meanwhile, we want you to check out the ones that are there. And we also want to make you aware of our life coaching and mentoring programs that we offer with the King and Two Queens. We each have programs that we're offering, and you can check us out on our website, akingandtwoqueens.com, and that's spelled a king, the letter N, and the number 2, queens.com. So check out our website. We have all kinds of things on there. You can even shop on there. We got some things that you might be interested in checking out. But I am offering 2 programs, life coaching and mentoring. I'm leading up 2. The first one is called the 30-Day Jumpstart, and it's a life coaching program. It's designed to help anyone to restart, reboot, revisit your life path, and set some realistic short-term goals that you can achieve within the 30 days. So it's an intensive program of accountability to help you to get some fast results. If you're a procrastinator, this program is really good for you. So you'll go through a series of customized exercises designed to help you think and take action to meet your short-term goals quickly. The second program is called the Relationship Management Program. It's a mentoring program. And that one is for someone who's presently in or recently got out of an unhealthy relationship, a toxic relationship, and they need support. And we can be as discreet as you need to be so you can get that support. That's a 3 to 6 month mentoring program to help you identify stressors, adjust your mindset, and create a new normal that will help you better manage difficult relationships. So both programs, they're virtual meetings. They'll meet 1 hour a week, and you can get started by taking first steps to our website and clicking on the coaching tab at the top right. That will take you to an intake questionnaire to get you started. So I'm going to turn it on over to the King and then the Queen to share about their programs before we end.
Thank you, Karen. Love your programs. I'm David Carruthers. I am doing the King's Coaching. So what the King's Coaching is about, it's life coaching that affects spiritually, emotionally, and financially. They're all connected. My big assignment, my big theme is identification. You have to identify that which is wrong, that which is challenging, that which you're having trouble with. Again, I say it all the time. You don't get in trouble because you're pretty or because you have a six-pack. You get in trouble because maybe you have a bad attitude or because you're not dealing with fear correctly. So you want to identify that, and then you want to really, and when I say identify it, I mean really break down the steps. Here's why. If you don't, you're going to repeat it. And so the goal is to say, oh, I didn't know that I was thinking like that. Now I got you, and you're not going to do it again. Okay, here's why. I heard this quote. It says, the problem in life is not that we think too high and miss it, but rather that we think too low and hit it. There's greatness. Really, there's greatness in you. It's in all of us. But most people kill their own greatness and they don't even know how or why that they're doing it. So what I do I show you what you're doing, and then I show you the great things that are already inside of you. Because you want to identify that which you're already doing, that which is well, and you want to maximize that. Because that's where your money is, that's where your peace is, that's where your joy is, and you want to maximize it. So that's the King's Coaching on akingandtwoqueens.com. And thank you in advance.
Okay, excellent, David. Thank you. Sherry.
Hi, I am Coach Sherry, otherwise known as Sherry McIntosh, and I am honored to introduce my life coach program called Daddy's Little Girl. This is a program that specifically deals with women who have daddy issues. Now, when you either don't have a relationship with your father or a bad relationship with your dad, that affects every single relationship that you have. And not just, dating and marriage, but relationship with other people, because it just, it makes it hard for you to trust because you've been hurt, you've been disappointed. So I speak from experience, and if I were me, I would take this program. But seriously though, it is a life-changing program because it helps you to be able to deal with those issues one by one. And you'll set yourself on a path to healing and wholeness so that you have a brand new day to look at.
Excellent.
So if you are interested, please fill out the questionnaire on our website, thru.com.
Excellent. All right. Okay. We're going to say so long to now, and we'll be talking to you real soon. And until then, check out our podcast and send us some comments, send us some feedback. We welcome it. Okay, so long for now. Thank you.
Thank you.